here as we continue to look at some of this. What you're going to notice here as you got some of this, some of these issues. What I want to focus back on here is I got my mic turned back on here. The key for us here is the fact that we have all this cold air that's settling in place. As we have clouds, we have this little light snow that's off to our northwest. And this area specifically, as we continue to look at, that's where this Alberta clipper system, this quick clipper system is, that is going to deliver the potential for some snow for us here as we go over the next several hours. And what you'll notice here as that settles in is the possibility is, you'll notice that from Rapid City to Omaha, watch these little systems that kind of briefly work their way down. They have to interact with moisture and lift to get that snow to fall. And you're not necessarily seeing that here in our area. Watch how that just kind of falls apart. There's dry air that's settling in place. So we'll watch that area specifically as it settles down. Where does that axis move through? And I'm just kind of repeating myself for those of you that just kind of tuned in here. Where does this axis settle in? Is it north? Is it south? Where are we going to see that settle in? And that's important for us here, because as we continue to see that, where does that settle in for us here? Once we know where that settles in, that's where we can tell you whether or not we're going to get heavier snow, or if that snow is going to overcome temperatures that may be above freezing. Notice those areas in Rolla. Look, that's 35 degrees. That's clearly not going to be much of an issue, even though it may cause some nuisance driving. But if it's 30 or 29 in St. Charles and Alton at this point, like this particular model suggests, then some of these little pockets of heavy snow could be an issue. But I do want to point this out here, because I think once we get past 3 or 4 o'clock, watch how temperatures start to rise, and then this is out of here once the sun sets. I think that's really important. Let's look once again, like I did yesterday, at 3 particular models. Look at model number 1. Still has us at freezing, and we're kind of on the northern edge of that. That may mean the heavier snow is in north and central Missouri and not so much our area. Let's look at model number 2, which has our temperatures much warmer in the mid-30s, but we're kind of in the middle of the heavier snow axis. And then let's look at model number 3, which is similar to the one that I just showed you, where you're going to see more of that, and then also a warm air kind of settle in from Rolla and Springfield. So what one may settle in the most? And I think it's going to be somewhere in between what is this one I'm showing you here, but probably with temperatures a little bit warmer. Let's say 33, 34, 35, and that's where our impacts are going to still be in question for us, which is important, right? Our first accumulating snow is going to be, really I would expect that it's going to stick, right? We are going to get accumulating snow, and I think 10 to 4 is going to be the heaviest. But for us, the matter of things are going to be, well, is it going to overcome the warm ground? Are we going to see slick spots? Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to stick in the grass for a little while, if not a little longer. And you may get some of these bands where it picks up heavy, and there could be 2 to 3 inches of snow, and then it starts to melt a little bit. The potential is there for us to get 2 to 3 inches of snow. It's just a matter of if everything settles in and it's as cold as it wants to be. So that's why when we think about drawing this potential snowfall map, you look at kind of this where it says up to 1 inch, and you go from Chesterfield, St. Louis to Troy where it says locally higher. Well, I think we can get 1 to 2 inches there, but things have to come into place if that's the case. Don't be surprised to see an isolated 3-inch total, but also there's a high bust potential where a lot of this melts and you get a ½ inch of snow, and then everything is okay, and that's fine. But if you're traveling to the Mizzou game, keep that in mind. I think that's going to be an issue. That's why it's our next weather impact alert day. As I show you the 7-day forecast, we're going to get to 35 with snow around as we continue to deal with that, and that's going to be the big story for us as we see that colder air settle in. Once again, our snow will depend on how much it melts and how much when that system starts to work its way in from north to south. That's what we'll monitor as we continue to update you for the potential for snowfall later on this weekend. However, we'll continue to monitor it and bring another update later on tonight.